Welcome to the Daily Grind. My name is Kelly Johnson, your fun and friendly host. We are on episode 27 of season 2, the very best one yet. Grillsman Inc. and the Daily Grind are coming together this holiday season, giving away 1 week's worth of meal plan valid at $125 for free. How to enter? Be sure to follow on Instagram Grillsman and the Daily Grind, and we'll be selecting one winner on December 31st. Who doesn't want to miss out on saving time, saving money, eating clean, right to eat, delicious meal plan? So enter today, and happy holidays. Here's your Kelly Fast fact of the day. The term podcast is a mashup of iPod and broadcast. It was coined by a journalist in 2004. And there's your fast fact. I would like to keep the introduction short. We have a special guest on today, Iyan Kulendran. He is the co-founder and owner of Grillsman Inc. Grillsman is known for their meal plans, catering, and platters. Kulendran lives and works in Toronto, Canada. So welcome to the show, Iyan.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for coming on our show, Iyan. I'm excited to learn more about your story, and our listeners are just excited to learn more about your story and how you can inspire us out in the world. So I guess first and foremost, can you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Yes. So my name is Ian, last name Kulendran. Excited to be on the show. So I'm from Toronto, guys. I was growing up, had kind of a rough coming up, bringing up. Like I was brought up very low income area, and I was your typical youth, urban youth involved in gangs and trying to look cool and things of that nature. And going into my adulthood and stuff was a little bit of a struggle. I'd had a near death experience where I was jumped by a few guys, and that kind of straightened me up, especially being an only child. You know what I mean? It gave me a whole new vision when I came out of that alive. I started working with youth, started working with the young adults, got into the SCOP mission, which is an NGO, Christian-based NGO, and just gave me a new direction in life and a new purpose in life. I've traveled to Kenya. I've been to Haiti after the earthquake. I've helped a lot of orphanages, and I just found my purpose in like helping others, right? And so that's kind of my story in Toronto, Ontario, here in Canada. And what do I do? So what I do is I've jumped from job to job, but I actually finished school doing marketing. But I guess God had other plans and took me in a different direction, and I ended up, being a dispatcher at Beck Taxi, which was a huge company in Toronto, Ontario, for as far as cabs go. So I climbed up to like almost a supervisor level, and I got another call from a dispatch unit from Amazon, and they had offered me a job, and they've heard of my expertise, and they're like, hey, listen, we'd like to pull you in this direction. And they almost kind of bought me. You could say it kind of offered me better pay, a better schedule, were more lenient towards my needs. And I ended up being at Amazon now. So I've been at Amazon for about 2 years now, making fairly good money. But there was still a need for wanting my own thing. Just wanted to do my own thing, and I didn't know what that looked like yet. And of course, I came across a lovely woman, my girlfriend Miriam, who is also in Chicago right now studying law. And we kind of went on this trip to Jamaica, and she's just like, we made this little book, like a 5-year plan book. I was just unhappy with my goals, which she's in law school doing her thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just here at Amazon, which looks good, and my goal was to get my own Amazon contract. But at the end of the day, it's not mine, right? It's not something that I built. It's not something that I can leave a print in the world. And so as this year went by, I'm like, what does that look like for Iyan? What does that look like for me? And I prayed about it, and I seeked God. And I recently just started. One of my goals was to kind of restore my faith and to go back to church. And I bump into this gentleman, Sajant, who also very like-minded, who works with young adults, youth, has his own ministry. And what happened was we had an event where I had cooked and he had cooked. And I remember, like, in my 20s, late 20s, I'm 30, 35 right now, guys. In my mid to late 20s, I make a jerk chicken, and the jerk chicken has a little bit of a buzz. Anybody who has my jerk chicken always says, "Oh, you should try Ian's jerk chicken. It's out of this world." And so even my girlfriend, she's like, "It's the best jerk chicken she's ever had." But this is me thinking everyone's just tooting my horn. So again, and he was a cook too. He makes tandoori chicken. He has his own little secret sage chicken, and kind of brought us together. And as a joke, or I don't even know if it was a joke, maybe it was a seed that was planted. We're like, maybe we should start our own thing. Maybe we should do something and, like, kind of, maybe own a store one day where we're pushing out, our food, our recipes, and, like, and it got me excited. And I think that was the spark that kind of got us excited. And now I am, we took a few more steps, started off as a weekend operation, pushing straight out of the house, and we are now Grillsman Incorporated, and that's kind of the start of this journey.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
super exciting. Ian, wow. I'm excited for our interview in this episode. You have quite the daily grind going on.
Hmm.
Again, you have a lot of similarities with our past guests on the show.
Hmm.
Living with purpose, finding that need, and if you're unsatisfied with what you're currently doing, or you want to achieve your personal and career goals, you go further. You
Absolutely.
look further beyond the horizon, and we're really goal driven on this podcast. So your story is going to
I
be
see
incredible
that.
for our listeners out there in the world. Toronto, it's a big topic right
Hmm.
now too. With speaking of the NBA, right around the corner,
Hmm. Hmm.
you guys coming down to US in Tampa
Hmm.
for the Raptors, which is kind of funny. It's really cool. You're connecting with our young adult audience out there, our daily grinders looking to pursue their own goal, or even go outside and maybe start a side hustle, or something that they're doing at their current job, looking to get a promotion or the next step, things like that. So how'd you become, I know you said you studied marketing, but how'd you become more into that Amazon? You're 2 years in already, you're still grinding on that job, but also to have both of those successes now, launching Girlsman as well as working at Amazon.
Hmm. So, how it happened was, while I was working at Beck Taxi, I had got a call, a blind call, and it's like, "Hey, my name is da da da, and I'm here at." We had heard about your expertise through a mutual friend, and we were hoping we can kind of pull you over to our side because we're in need of a dispatcher who is leaving abruptly. So, just like that, the call was abrupt for me as well. So I'm just like, "Oh, wow, okay. I'm gonna need more details. Let's look more in depth into this. So give me a call later." As he called, he was starting to tell me, like, when people try to get you onto a job, they tell you all the good stuff, right? So it's like, "I can give you this much pay. We are comfortable with your schedule," which was good because with my prior job, there was no, like, fixed schedule. It was kind of like a weekly. Okay, you know what? This week you're Monday through Thursday. All right, next week we need you Thursday through Friday. And then a taxi company, if you've noticed, is functional all year round. So, goodbye holidays, goodbye. Like, I mean, yes, you get compensated in the sense of stat holiday pay and things of that nature. But, you know, what about friends and family, right? So, my other job at Beck, I didn't have that. I was constantly, like, New Year's Eve was a write off, Christmas was a write off, Easter was a write off, Canada Day was a write off. So, um, when he had told me we give you job flexibility and we're flexible with your schedule, I just got excited. That was already like a good thing for me. And we kind of just went back and forth on how much I'd get paid, and then I gave my other job the 2 week notice, and I ended up at Amazon. Mind you, what Amazon does is they contract people to do the deliveries, and companies or uh, whatnot to do the deliveries and things of that nature. So the company that I'm working for is Steadfast, which is an umbrella under Amazon. We get all the perks, but ultimately Amazon has kind of zero liability. We have to bring in our own drivers, send them out to do their deliveries, and I kind of oversee them. Now I've shifted from now a dispatcher to you would say a supervisor slash operation manager here. So the role was great. There wasn't someone breathing down my neck because like a leader now at this new job that I'm doing. So that was kind of the shift from Beck Taxi to Amazon. I've been there 2 years to almost 2.5 now, and it's a great experience. Like again, like yes, I am trying to build my own thing, but I'm not going to talk ill of what I do. You know what I mean? As my job, mind you, what I was doing 5 days a week because of my business, I brought it down to 3 days a week, and I believe and trust in God that He will bring it to a place where I'm slowly weaning myself away from the other job. Some advice for the daily grinders is don't jump into something without having something to back you up. You know what I mean? Because yes, you need safety, you need security, you may have people relying on you. So just don't walk into something blindly. I would say please have some sort of security and stability, because you might need that weekly check or the bi-weekly check just to keep you grounded until you're ready to actually launch off on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So just a security measure, some advice for you guys as I'm doing right now.
Wonderful. Yeah, really well said, Ian.
Yeah.
Super important again to do your research and ask questions. Look to people in the industry. Talk to your
Mhm.
peers, coworkers. If you have mentors out there, those are super important. Do you think like your leadership skills at Amazon management? You studied marketing back in the day. Do you think that helped you kind of pursue now start Grillsman, or is kind of adding to that? You mentioned your aha moment already.
Yeah.
Just getting it up and running.
Yeah. For sure. You know what? I'm a strong believer that every single thing that happens to you in your past paves the way for your future. Nothing is meaningless. God puts certain obstacles and hurdles in front of you for a reason. Even me getting jumped in a parking lot was a moment for me to realize, what am I doing with my life? I almost died. You know what I mean? That's what I needed. Where at the time I was filled with anger and resentment, that played a part of who I am today and the value of life, and how, like, my problems and the way I was behaving, that who I was very minimal in comparison to what's happening around us, and how much people are needed. Even what I studied in school, that also helped me out in the sense of learning networking and how to brand myself. How to It gave me the tools. Everything I learned in school gave me the tools, like just how to create a marketing scheme, and how am I going to bombard the market with my what I have to offer. Just a lot of skills were attained from being in school. You know what I mean? It gave me structure. Um, and then, yes, I ended up at a job that had nothing to do with what I studied, which happens a lot, actually. I mean, as an example, my uncle, who was a doctor in India, is now a security guard in Canada, right? So these things happen, guys. You may go to school for something that you feel like, oh, I'm not even doing that now. But when you start your daily grind, you will see that what you learned in school will start being applied into what you're doing now. So yes, a lot of the stuff from my past is still applicable today. I'm a strong believer of that. It built who I am today.
Mhm. Yeah, really well said. I think just experience the past, like you mentioned, nothing is meaningless. A lot of the things that I've came across
Hmm.
in my life has influenced me. For instance, for this podcast in general, starting
Hmm.
the daily grind,
Absolutely.
did not see myself having a podcast a few years back. But hey, we're on the bright side. Look at all the people that we have on our show. Incredible people like
Hmm.
Ian sharing their story, inspiring us out in the world. But yeah, speaking of Girlsmen, Ian, did what's the story behind the brand name? Tell us
Oh,
more.
sweet. Okay. You know what? It was actually quite simple but brilliant. Okay. So we noticed a lot of what he and I were doing. Like during the summer when we were just having fun, we were always on the barbecue.
Mhm.
Now we've got a third partner. His name is Koi. He's the face of our meal plans. So even him, kind of God led me to him too. He came to Amazon to apply for a job, and we just got real close, and we found a lot of similarities. And even him, he was a chef, and a lot of the stuff he loved doing came right off the grill. Me, I was always operating off a grill. We found that we were never in front of a stove, right? as most chefs are, or a oven, or that. We were just always operating out of a grill. Um, so very simple grill. With there's three men, two men, starting off with two men, and we kept thinking like Kingsmen and like someone of higher stature, things of that, and we're like, what, let's call ourselves Grillsmen. Now, well, what we thought when we did the name search before we trademarked and incorporated, we were worried that this already exists somewhere, right? So we put the money towards it, and we're waiting for the results, and voila, Grillsman belongs to us. No, under the name search, nobody had it, and then there you go. We are officially Grillsman Inc. We love the name of it. It's so it has such a good ring to it that even other people that have tried to partner up with us or per se wanted a piece of the business, what brought them to us was the name Grillsman. And yeah, we just fell in love with it. It is what it is, and I don't think it's ever going to change. And it's definitely something that's worth branding and building. Yeah, I love it, Grossman.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it fits really well. I love the logo too. Looks great.
Hmm.
Super catchy,
Hmm.
easy to remember. Tell there's like flavor,
Hmm.
fun, all the good stuff. So yeah, tell us about the good stuff, Ian. Lace and Grace, if our daily grinders haven't came across you already.
Okay, so what we do, what we started was like, okay, so we're obviously when we started this idea, we know, okay, we're not in a storefront, right? So first step is we all got our food handler certificate, right? Just to be safe, and then we kind of built the incorporation under the address of my partner's home. So safety is a huge part, especially in like the food industry. So we kind of had to like build an area in his home where food can be stored properly and where we can operate, especially with COVID going on with like masks and gloves. We had to operate in a manner where, like, okay, we're not going to get in trouble. Now, the thing was, how are we going to make money? We can't push, a combo for one or like a combo for two out of a home. You'll have like a lineup out of your home, right? And your neighbors are like, what's going on? So it's like, okay, what can we do? Let's create maybe a platter. My partner had thought of this platter idea right off the bat. He's like, you know what? We should just push out platters, platter for four, platter for five, because there's not too many platter businesses out here. So we made a little comp. We went to the drawing board and we made combinations. So like, okay, what can I make? What do I have to offer? So Ian is he makes really good jerk. He makes really good barbecue jerk. So what can we couple with that where we can make in bulk and then make platters? So what I decided was let's kind of give it a soul food vibe, right? So I did the jerk chicken coupled with macaroni pie, macaroni cheese pie, and creamy coleslaw. And you'll see if you look at the visuals of my platters, you'll see a column of jerk chicken. Like we take five pieces, chop it down, column of the macaroni cheese pie, and then a column. They're like in rows, and just presentation wise, it looked so beautiful. And then we're like, okay, now we got the kind of like the Caribbean, West Indian culture covered. What's next? Let's try to get tap the South Asian market. So he is really good with tandoori chicken and spicy sage. So he had made we made the combination of South Asians, we love our rice. So me being Sri Lankan and him being Sri Lankan, there's a city in Sri Lanka, Jaffna. We created like this rice called the Jaffna rice, and what it is diced up potatoes with curry powder and certain spices and herbs that are deep fried, and then we mix it into a kind of a yellowed rice, biryani type texture, and we mix the rice together, so it's just like the tandoori chicken column and just a bed of rice. It just looks so good to the eye. As one of my partners, Koi's always says, people eat with their eyes, right? People eat with their eyes. So we just wanted to make sure the visuals were correct. So the visuals, we nailed it. We took some photos. We did like a little pre-launch, and it was a hit. Everyone that came to the pre-launch was like, I mean, I was humbled, but I was excited when when I had an actual Jamaican say, "Yo, your jerk chicken is 11 out of 10," and I'm like, I was just like smiling from ear to ear, and yeah, and then he got so much good reviews too about his spicy sage because it's one of a kind. You cannot find that anywhere. It's his own recipe, So that was quite a hit as well. And then we're like, okay, so we did a pre-launch, and this was me setting the tone for our Instagram page. And that's it. We went from there, and then we're like, take your orders now. And then two orders became five orders, and the next week five orders became 10 orders, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're like, okay, now we got to put a handle on this, because it's like, how much can two people manage? We're operating out of a home, which has a family in it. Smoke alarms are going off, kids are running around. We're like, we got to shift. And remember, we started in August, right? So that's kind of like our humble beginnings. I'm not sure if you want me to continue with the transition.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. So we're just like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. What are we going to do to get ourselves into a kitchen? What does our budget look like? Because we have to talk about how we only operate on the weekends, because we have our lives during the week. So what's our goal now? Is this going to be a thing? Are we going to move into a unit? Are we? And then we realized how much we loved this thing that God created for us and brought us together. Let's expand. We got to move into a kitchen. What does that look like? Or at least for the time being, move out of this home, right? And with our budget, we figured, okay, we can rent out a space in a home, which we can operate from freely. So we got into this, like, they gave us this den. We put a freezer inside of it. They gave us access to the kitchen. The barbecue was outside. And sure enough, in being in Canada, the weather doesn't cooperate. So we're like, this isn't really working for us. Let's just take most of our profit and put it into a kitchen. Let's move into a kitchen. Let's just do it. And as we are transitioning and moving into this kitchen, this gentleman, he was really hard to work with. He's like, oh, I want $1,200 a month. And then he was just tough to talk with, and it worried me, because I'm like, if we're gonna move into this gentleman's kitchen, and we text him and get responses in 3 days, what happens if we're in the kitchen and something malfunctions? Are we just supposed to stop our operation? This was concerning for us. So we had all gone into like prayer into about what are we gonna do. Sure enough, ding, it's COVID. All these banquet halls. My partner was driving by a banquet hall. This banquet hall is closed, which means nothing is happening out of there. And he had a connection with someone who owns a banquet hall. Calls him and goes, "Hey, what's going on with your banquet hall? Like, there's no weddings, there's no parties. What's going on?" He's like, "Honestly, nothing." And then he tells him about the business and how we need a kitchen to operate out of, right? And he gets excited. He starts talking about how we can work together to build his business, and we can and the gave us the most blessing of a price ever. And so we go check out this kitchen, and it's just beautiful, just everything stainless steel. There's a grill for the grillsman, and there's just everything's just there. There's all these ovens, and what used to take us 8 hours to prepare is now an hour and a half, which gives us more time to put into marketing, more time to reach out to customers, more time for clients. And mind you, we're doing meal plans too now, right? So meal plans are a lot of work. Making 10 meals for one client per week is a lot of work. So the fact that this guy partnered up with us, and now we're operating out of a kitchen, and it's just in 3 months, like what God has done since August and what it is today. It's just, I see nothing but light at the end of this tunnel for Grossman.
That's
Hmm.
wonderful. Going for the 11 out of 10 stars from a true Jamaican. That's incredible. Yeah, the
Yeah,
spicy sage, your barbecue jerk, soul food, the whole branding, the whole what you serve is just amazing. It definitely sets yourself apart. That was a question I had, but you already answered. Just speaking of behalf of your story, yeah. And then
yeah.
you're one of the newer ones out there from August, so you're just a few months in this business, and you're already pivoting and being able to adapt to the current climate of the coronavirus going on. Can you tell us more with the meal plans then too as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got the platter business on a go. Again, one of my partners, Coy, who's a brother to me at this point, but I was since January. One of my goals, as I told you, I was in Jamaica with my girlfriend, and we had this 5-year plan book. So one of my goals was to drop weight, get healthy. I was sitting at 210 pounds, and I'm 5'7". I was just depressed and just not happy with how I looked. You know what I mean? Just even being in Jamaica and having to take my shirt off was like, ugh, right? So, I'm like, okay, add that to my set of goals, right? Add that to my set of goals. I'm gonna get here, right? So I add that, and then I'm like, I'm like, as I said, I'm gonna start going back to church. I'm gonna start fixing who I am, rebuilding who I am. So I get back here and I'm like, what does that look like? What does exercise look like for Ian? What does that do? What does that look like? And then as soon as we get back from Jamaica, COVID starts. So I'm like, okay, there go the gyms, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me try this on my own. So I have these weights at home. I have a yoga mat. I kind of start my own little workouts, my own little regimen. I'm like, let me start eating healthy right at home. And eating healthy is tough when you don't know what that looks like and you have no knowledge of it. So what I did is like, I did the kind of the rookie thing where I downloaded an app and I just calculated my calories. I'm like, okay, I'm at this much calories. I'm at this much calories. And then the app kind of guides you where it's like, okay, you're this weight now. What's the weight you want to get to? Okay, that's the weight you want to get to. Then this is how many calories you should intake every week, right? So as I did that, I kind of went really hard with the exercises. I started getting more active. I started putting myself back in the church, and through the church, there was basketball program and things. So I started doing everything I can to be active. Um, and then I got plateaued, right? So as soon as I think August, during the time of Grossman, is when I hit this weight. I hit 170, I believe. So I managed to lose 40 pounds, which was huge. People were already like, hey, Ian, you're losing all this weight. How are you doing it? I'm like, honestly, just self-discipline. But you get to this point where you plateau, and I'm like, I just can't shrink anymore. And I want to shrink. I'm still not happy with being, the certain shape about me that I wasn't really happy with. I went from an XL to a medium large, but I wanted more, and I was just getting bored of the way I was eating. All I was doing was having like raw vegetables and kielbasa for lunch, and a little bit of a dinner, and like I was just getting bored. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like I've got to figure this out. And then I meet Koi, who's the third face of Grossman, Cage's meal plan, and he becomes this guy. He's like a fitness guy, our opinions and values in life with God and everything, just like how we feel about bettering the world, and just boom, right off the bat, we just connected. And then I find out he's a chef, and I'm like, I got this business going on, but this comes after. So I find out, I'm like, how do you stay in shape, bro? How are you this way? And he's like, I saw that he had a black container. So he was a delivery agent for me. He had a black container in the front of his van every time he went out for his deliveries. And then when he came back, I'm like, "What are you eating? What's in that black container?" He's like, "Oh, I prep my meals, man. You know what I mean? Nutrition is a huge part of fitness." And then he tells me how, like, I don't believe in the whole like you have to eat chicken breast, this that. He had actually won a competition, a fitness competition, and he was showing me pictures. And I'm just like, "Oh, that's marvelous." And he's still eating the things he loves, but it's rationed, and you know, uh, the salt is decreased and all that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, can I throw you like maybe like a couple bucks here and there? Maybe you can kind of get me started and coach me through this. And he's like, absolutely. So here I am on my own personal meal plan, but it looks the same every day, right? So every day for lunch, I'd have ground beef and uh, stir fry vegetable, and dinner would have jerk chicken and stir fried vegetables. Some of the days I have carbs, I'd have some sweet potatoes in my little meal, but still got me to 160. And now officially I'm 151 pounds. So I wear a small now. So it's crazy how much weight I dropped this year, out of this world. But people started asking me all these questions, and I'm like, you know what, guys? So I had brought Koi into Grossman as the platter business. So we went to the drawing board, and I'm like, hey guys, you know what's aligned with our vision is, why don't we put the meal plan in the market, right? I'm a walking testimony to this, right? Let's put it in the market. Let's help people. Let's help people to get to their goal. Let's tell people that you can still eat flavorful food. You can still have what you enjoy and lose weight. It just has to be portioned, and I will guide them. You know what I mean? Like I have a personal goal where we're going to be the first company that has actual relationships with their customers, where you're not calling a phone number and it's press one, blah, 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 blah. Or did you know you can go online and get your questions answered? Like, I want it to be very personable. And if we get to a point where we're huge, I'll even hire staff, like a member care hotline. So I'm like, I'll even keep up with them weekly and check how their weight is, get updates, remind them to drink 3 liters of water a day, just give them little tips. And we're like, okay, fine. So what does meal plan look like for customers? Because right now I'm eating the same thing for lunch, same thing for dinner weekly. Let's create this huge menu. So we're like, well, pair this with this with this. So now uh, we launched this meal plan. We got the variety going, and again, just like the platters, two clients turned into five, five turned into 10, 10 turned into 20, 20 got doubled, and now it's this its own force again. So again, we've been blessed with the whole meal plan thing. We're helping people. We're changing lives, which is geared towards what I wanted in life. And we're leaving a little footprint on the world right now. So that's Grillsman, and we get to keep our name because all of our stuff comes off a grill. So yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. I think it fits perfect with the brand. You're serving a ton of people out there, keeping them living a healthy lifestyle, incorporating that balance, and enjoying really great food that you guys provide. And yeah, kudos
Mhm.
to your personal goals, and then also sharing your success with others and inspiring people, keeping them motivated to achieve their fitness or health or personal goals, which is great. Which we want to see here on the Daily Grind. Do most of your consumers, do they follow like a specific diet or with the meal plans, or do you see I guess different trends, being a meal plan service company?
Okay, so it's a little different because with our platters, we had a target demographic, right? But with the meal plans, what I'm seeing is we're getting a huge variety of different clients. I can't put a finger on actually. If you were to ask me an ideal client, I can't. In all different shapes, colors, sizes, stories. I mean, I've got people on meal plans that have kids and they're just exhausted from coming home from work and creating meals for their husband and themselves, and then a whole different menu for their kids, and that alone takes hours. So they're on the meal plan simply because you know what, it's healthy and it saves me time, right? Then we got people who want to save money, who it's like, you know what, I have all this variety from your meal plan. Whereas, me, I'd have to go grocery shopping, spend hundreds of dollars, find the time to make the meals I want to eat on a daily. Time is another factor that is a selling key point for us. And then health, I'm getting people that are like, oh my gosh, I'm happy I stumbled upon you guys. My family doctor is telling me to do this, da, da, da. I need your help. Will you help me get to my goal? And then there's that demographic of people. So it's like, yeah, to answer your question, meal plans are sold for everybody, right? And the biggest thing about it is you get healthy, right? So yeah, I honestly can't put a finger on who our ideal customer would what our ideal customer would look like.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. It sounds like you're having a great time providing these meals. Again, you're also saving people like myself on the daily grind, time prepping the food as well as, going to the grocery store, like you said, getting all the ingredients, finding a recipe, finding the motivation to get that recipe and make something that, like, I'm a subpar person in the kitchen. By all means, I'm no expert,
Uh-huh,
so I'd
uh-huh.
rather have
Hmm.
you or Grillsman provide that meal for me. So yeah, speaking of inspiration for like recipes or the meal plan, like how do you build that?
Okay, so what I've even heard from some of our clients who have been on meal plan or meal kits like Yamba or whatnot, they were telling me how, like, we're so happy with the transition because what you get are these bags, and then you have to put the meals together. So it's like, why didn't I just go do this myself? Or they're sending you these meals and they're very boring, right? Or it's just like they put the cold stuff with the warm stuff. So now you've got to separate what's supposed to be cold within the meal plan and then heat up what's supposed to be warm and then put the cold back in, or like, whereas we just like, boom, here you go, microwave it for 2 minutes. Make sure your Thursday and your Friday meals are in the freezer. Pull them out as the days go by and enjoy your meals. That's it. It's kind of like, here's your meals. Now you do your part. Do your exercise. Drink your water. Take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. We got this covered for you, right? The other thing about it is, well, our goal was to also keep the flavors tied in. You know what I mean? We don't want you to eat something and be like, "Ugh, where's the salt?" or "Ugh, where's the flavor?" So I know we keep our meals very diverse. You'll get dry chicken curry. one week. This week we have dry chicken curry, tandoori chicken. We have a maple salmon spice kind of fish that's like it has maple syrup tied into it with a little spice. So it's like we keep flavors locked in. But it's just of course everything is portion control, right? I also I want people to enjoy their meals. I want them to look forward to, oh, it's almost lunchtime. I get to heat up my container. So we keep all that in mind, all these factors in mind when pushing out our menus on a weekly, and we're forever growing. Actually, this week is our first week of launching the vegan menu, and I had tried a piece of our beefless bites, tandoori beefless bites, and I couldn't even tell that it wasn't meat. Like it was that good. I'm like, I could probably go vegan next year as my next goal. But yeah, that's it. We always want to keep flavors locked in. We want customers to be interested. I like to call them members. Keep them interested and happy, and we just continually just keep expanding our menu. Another thing we've done is made it affordable. We've undercut the market big time. A lot of the times, with these new clients, when they tell me, it's not that affordable anymore, I'm just like, are you sure? I don't say that to them, but it's like, are you sure? Because you getting in your car, going to a grocery store, planning 6 meals for your week, driving back home, spending all that time to make those 6 meals, and then you look at our price bracket. For me, it makes sense, right? I mean, I would be my client. If I would be serious with you, because it's that affordable. Like when you to register and to be a part of a meal plan, it's very pricey. You're looking anywhere from like 150 to $200 on a weekly basis. That's another thing we looked at before we put ourselves on the market and put it on flyers and stuff like that. So yeah, we want things to be affordable, flavorful, delicious, and tasty and healthy all at the same time. We keep all those things in mind. That's what our meal plan goals are.
Yeah, that's a great combo. Yeah, you're building that grillsman community, which is super cool. And we're seeing it today here on the Daily Grind. And again, you're not even a year into this business. And it's so exciting to hear your story and what's to come. You probably have a lot of success stories out there already with your members, which is great. Just keep on, as we say on the Daily Grind, keep up the grind. So,
Hmm.
we talked a lot about grillsmen, and you have that busy schedule, your daily grinder. How do you find that balance? Can you share with us? Also, we talked offline too in regards to you have other things that you're passionate about as well, just finding that balance in like music and media.
Hmm. Right. So music has kind of shifted for me as well. As before, I was always if you actually look up some of our videos, we're talking about, like, if you notice our songs, we don't swear, right? We've always tried to keep a kind of like a positive vibe going on. We don't talk about violence. We don't talk about things like that. So a lot of it's about just having fun and just trying to keep positive minded. That's a whole nother chapter in my life, a whole nother section of my life. I've partnered up with some good people, Edible Sound, and now my music has been shifted more towards stopping the violence in Toronto, and I'm sure Chicago, being our sister city, can relate to that. Violence is it's kind of out of control now, and I kind of want to shift. We have a song coming out called "More to Life," where we talk about the answers to your problem is not a handgun. There's ways around to deal with matters and problems, and just kind of we're just shifting gears into like a positive light. So if you were to look up to some of our songs now, Edible Sound, you'll see House Party, and you'll just see a bunch of us having fun. But I think now God's kind of given me a vision to like kind of utilize this gift to again, like He did with Grossman, to change lives, kind of push people in the right direction, and that's how I kind of want to use my voice with the music now. Time. How do I budget my time? Let me tell you, I have early mornings, and I try to shut this whole thing down by 9:30. I try. I start my mornings at my alarm rings at 4:30 in the morning, right? I start at Amazon at 7 a.m. I need to clock in. So I'm a strong believer of waking up early and being ahead of everybody else. So when I'm already at work, chippy and cheery, and at 7:30. somebody else's clock, they're rubbing their eyes walking into work, like, "Ugh," right? So I'm already, I've already gotten it. So I start off, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I spend a few minutes, just kind of thanking God for the air in my lungs and, spend a few minutes with my Bible. I pray for others, and then I jump right into my workout. I take my vitamins, drink my pre-workout. I do about a half an hour to 40 minutes. Mind you, guys, I haven't been to a gym all year. I lost all this weight in my bedroom, in my apartment. Two dumbbells, a yoga mat. Just recently, I started using iFit, which is like a coach that will kind of guide you. You pick the coach you like, and they kind of mimic the workouts you're seeing on the screen. But a lot of it, like 90% of it, this is all me and self discipline and through strength with God, obviously. But yeah, I work out for a good 45 minutes. Your best workout is usually in the mornings, because now your body is just, it's burning, it's active, your blood is flowing. And it just honestly, yeah, I'm just very energetic throughout the day. And then when I get home at night, I do my best to shut it down for 9:30, which is ideal. But sometimes I, you know, fall asleep at 11. But no matter what happens, I wake up at 4:30 and do it all over again with the workouts, spending time with God, and kind of preparing myself mentally and physically for the day. Um, See, the thing is, just to let everybody know that it's not easy. It's not easy. When I open my eyes at 4:30, I'm saying no. My alarm is just we're not best friends. Nobody wants to work out. Working out. If there's a guy or someone out there that's telling you that they love working out, I would agree with them somewhat. But no, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's hard work, and to get the results you want. To get what you want to achieve, you have to go through the pain. You have to go through the hurt. You've got to break yourself daily, and then soon enough, you will look in the mirror and be so happy. Who you are as well changes when your body transforms. Who you are, you notice that you know what I mean. You're more self confident. Yeah, you're more driven. Um, you want to share. You speak more. This year has been a huge transitional year for me. Just losing the 60 pounds has changed so many things and opened so many doors for me. Where I would have been lazy in the past and kind of just been like, yeah, I should do that. I'm a go getter now. Let's go get it. Let's get it. Why say if, ands, or maybes? Let's just do it.
Yeah, really well said, Ian. You mentioned earlier in the episode you're making a small footprint. I think you're making a huge footprint out there in regards to with
Hmm.
Grillsman, sharing your inspiration via in the health, fitness realms, as well as in music. You're leaving a legacy out there, which is really great, and you're sharing with our daily grinders out there how to do that in their own daily grind. Do you think this year COVID has impacted your business or how you serve your members, or just in general in the markets that you're in right now?
I think, to be honest with you, I don't think, if anything, COVID may have played a good part in our business because people don't want to go in and sit down in restaurants anymore, right? We're pickup and delivery strictly, and I think because of that, people are more open minded to see what's available, right? Usually with eating and things of that nature, people are usually so more closed as they stick to restaurants they like and things of that. But I think now that people have time, they're looking out to what's available. Oh, my friend referred this. Let me try them. Things like that. So I think because people have more time, or people are restricted from going to places they love to go, they're more open minded as to what's out there. So COVID may have helped our business flourish in some sense. Yeah, I don't see. We never really never took a deficit throughout. I mean, it was COVID time when we started.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, you started right in the heart of this, overcoming challenges along the way, pivoting, like you mentioned earlier in this episode. Yeah, talking about the right mindset. Do you have best practices for our daily grinders in staying motivated in their own hustle and having that right mindset during this time, or just in
Yeah,
general? Hmm.
absolutely. I mentioned it and I live it through my lifestyle is get your day started early. The earlier you start your day, you'll have more hours in the day to execute what you want to do. You have more hours in the day to plan what your game plan looks like. And yeah, just stay positive. People are gonna shut you down. People are gonna tell you that you can't do it. Along with the love comes hate, and it's unfortunate, but it's how you respond to that hate. I'm a strong believer of just responding with love because one of my favorite quotes comes out of the Bible is "Love perseveres all." And when people throw shade and hate at me, and you respond, and I respond with love, it throws them off. Like, whoa, not the response I was expecting. You just gotta continue to love yourself, love God, and just keep moving forward. And you know what I mean. Stay positive. Don't let no one bring you down, and start your day early. Are my two things.
Wonderful. Those are great takeaways for our daily grinders out there. Speaking of daily
Hmm.
grind, Ian, we talked about your daily schedule starting 4:30 in the morning. What's on your daily
Hmm.
grind later this year? We're basically the end of 2020, or what's yet to come for 2021?
Again, because I'm ahead of schedule, I've lost the weight that I wanted, but I think it's time for me to put some muscle on, like physically. I think I want to continue to grow the business. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Ultimately, I would like to be in my own storefront with my own instead of just operating out of a kitchen. I would like people to drive by and see a Grillsman sign. And that goal is very realistic for me. We want to franchise at one point. Well, our incorporation actually gives us permissions to go into the United States. So I might see you soon, Kelly.
Yeah.
Um, but we're hoping to, yeah, to branch out and like just spread this healthy lifestyle and all our fun platters across North America. I want to spread the positivity, tie in edible sound, my music, and my partner's ministry, Faith in Action. We want to, let people feel loved, let them know that violence isn't the way to go about things. We want to put food in people's, people that are starving. We actually want to give back in a sense where I heard a fact about 230 million people will die of starvation in the next 10 years, is what I heard. And this has been stuck in my head for some time now. So we've already started something through our ministry, Faith in Action, where we're giving food to just like poor families and families that are not as privileged. So we've already started something. You can look out for that too, Faith in Action, which we'll be launching like our own Instagram page and things of whatnot. The whole marketing will be established very soon. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm staying busy on a regular. I don't stop, and I just continue to grow. And I have a dream one day that I'll get some sleep, but but yeah, that's what it is. I kind of want to wind down. It's December. I want to enjoy the Christmas. I think this whole year I've been like grinding, right? And I think it's time for me to kind of just take a seat, reflect. Thank God for everything. Have some eggnog and go at it again in January.
Wonderful. Yeah, Ian, you have quite
Yeah.
the grind going on. You're always welcome in Chicago, of course. Love to get Grillsman down here
Hmm.
in the U.S. So exciting what's yet to come with Grillsman and what you do in the community, serving others. Faith in action sounds incredible. So yeah, good luck to everything that's down the road and keep up the grind, as we say here on the Daily Grind. Talking about motivation, Ian, do you have a word of the day to inspire listeners out there, or even a quote?
Word of the day or a quote. You know what? I would say you got to love yourself. You've got to love yourself and not expect people to love you. You've got to love yourself, and that starts with you know uh, how do you want to look? What kind of message are you gonna put out there? With me, it all started with I was in a dark place because I didn't. When I thought about it, I didn't love myself because you can tell by the way I looked. My weight, how I let people's words affect me. And for me, like, I mean, it may look like something else for someone else, but for me, it all started with God, right? And what I learned is that I need to love myself and love others in the process. You can't love others unless you love yourself. What that looks like for a daily grinder, that's up to you guys. But if you feel like you need to start from a place of, all right, let me start by eating better. Let me start by fixing, how or fixing my image on how I look. How do I want to look? What do I want people to see when they see me? And that all starts with loving yourself, guys. Love yourself so that you are built and are able to love others.
Mhm. Really well
Hmm.
said, Ian. I think that fits perfectly with today's episode. Again, having that right mindset, what message you're trying to send to others. So, again, love yourself and have that. Everyone's daily grind is different, so apply that to your daily grind and what your personal and career goals are. So, last but not least, Ian. You inspired us this entire episode. How can our listeners follow you on social? Learn more about Grillsman. Order some flavorful and healthy food. Come on, like tell us more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So our Instagram is Grillsman, GRILLSMEN _ We wanted Grillsman originally, but there's a small group of 40 followers, and I think they operate out of Jamaica. And we tried to message them for the name, and no response. They've got like 3 posts. So if you follow on that page, it's not us. It's Grillsman _ Same thing with Facebook. Our business fully operates out of Instagram. Fortunately, it's been very good for us and been very good to us. We're working on our website right now, which we will when we do launch, it will be advertised through Instagram as well. We have a phone number, 416-770-7602. Either me or my partner will answer it, and we can definitely chat. And yeah, honestly, those are our main 2 channels right now. And through the phone number, you can find us on WhatsApp and all the other channels through there. But that's us. That's our main 3 right there. So feel free to get in touch. You can message me. We can have a chat. If I don't answer, text me, and I will always get back to you. Again, my name is Iyan, Iyan for short.
Mhm. Wonderful. We'll put all of Ian's contact information, where to find Girlsmen, and again, find them on Instagram. Check them out. Learn more. This is super exciting. Really great episode with Ian. Thanks again for tuning in today's episode. A big thank you to Ian for being on the podcast. And also a big thank you to Aiden Donaldson, our intern on the Daily Grind. Way to go with all your work so far this year. It's coffee time all the time. Head over to our Instagram on Sundays where we have our new feature, Sippin' Sundays. Each week, we'll be featuring a new coffee brand and review that flavor based on our Daily Grind podcast scorecard. So head over to Instagram, check out our reviews, and recommend one of your faves. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our daily grinders listening to us on the pod or have been grinding with us since season 1. Feel free to check out our journey so far and share your feedback with us. Give us a rating and quick review on Apple. Virtual high five to you in advance. Ways to find the Daily Grind: follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Daily Grind Pod. Check out our website at www.kjfwi.org. Daily Grind Pod, official podcast of the Kelly Johnson Foundation. Until next time, my name is Kelly Johnson. Have a great day.
Yeah, God bless you guys.